Okay, so welcome everyone to the Select Generation podcast, to the millions of listeners out there. Today we've got a very special podcast. I'm joined by David. David's currently in Spain. He's a player that we saw for a couple of weeks in the summer. He came kind of as like a camp trial opportunity, did really well, got invited back to Unionistas. And David's a little bit different to the rest of our audience. Obviously, he's kind of at the end of his college career. He's looking at other things now post-college. So excited to talk to him, get his perspective, ask him some interesting questions. So, David, I'll let you introduce yourself, talk to us about who you are, your story, and just give us a little info about yourself.
So my name is David Gavriliak. I am from Lithuania, but raised in Ireland. And at 17, I decided to make the switch to play college football over in the States. And luckily I did and went through the whole process and found Sam and ended up in Spain, here where I'm at right now.
Nice, man. Awesome. So, David, I want to talk to you about your career because your career is obviously a little bit different. Like you said, you've grown up in Europe, then you came to the US, now you've ended up back in Spain. So, for you, in terms of your process, what have you found the most like? What's been the best football experience that you've had in your career? And talk to us about your journey, obviously, from when you were growing up playing to then now. Like, what's kind of molded you into like the player you are now?
I think coaches obviously have the biggest impact on how the player is going to come out. Some coaches you'll perform the best under, and some coaches will break you down and make you hate the sport. Um, I feel like the most fun I've had playing the sport is just generally playing at it. And then when I went over to the States, playing in the States was a completely different style of football in the first place, or soccer. It's completely different style. So learning a new style and a new coaching method was um was really eye-opening for me. I joined it a lot. Um and then coming out to Spain, football's completely another style, and I feel like playing at Spain at this level and the style over here is a lot more interesting for me. It's a lot more faster pace. It's a lot of touches on the ball. It's a less keep giving the ball away, and just more of a working as a team.
Yeah,
Personally, for me, I prefer that.
for sure. Awesome. So, because you've obviously had a different experience in terms of your college experience. A lot of the players that we talk to, they say, Sam, I have to play Division 1 soccer. If I don't play Division 1 soccer, I'm not going to college. Like I'm going straight to the pros. What advice do you have for a player that thinks they have to play Division 1 or they don't want to play college soccer at all?
I do not agree with you have to play with Division 1 or D2 or D3. You don't have to play at those levels to be able to come up top. Speaking from my own experience, I came into college with under a 2.0 GPA, had no SAT or ACT, I had nothing. And I got into Lincoln College, which they accepted me luckily, and they were a decent program, but they weren't the top in the world. And it doesn't matter if you're in D1 or D2 or D3. And even if you're in NAI, if you're a good player, you're going to be recognized. For me, um, kind of blanked on the words. Um, can we restart? Can
No,
you
no, no,
restart
no,
the
no,
question
no, no.
or?
This is good. So talk to us about that. Like, a
It,
lot of like I always tell players, if you are going to go play JUCO, there's players that go from junior college straight to the pro, straight to the USL. There's players that go from JUCO to Division 1 to the MLS to play for their national team. Moyes, who's a player that played at University of New Hampshire. I didn't play with him. He was the year after me, but he's just signed for Nice for
yeah,
4 million euros. So, and you're
yeah,
actually part of this story because you didn't play Division 1 soccer, but you've ended up playing and training with a professional team. So, out of
yeah.
players you played with from all their different backgrounds, from all their different divisions of college soccer, how would you describe to someone the stigma of D1 or bust?
Um, People hear D1, they think it's the best level possible. They think it's you're gonna be seen by so many coaches. You're gonna have so many fans, and if you don't go D1 at the end of your college career, if you haven't played D1, people think that's it, your life is over. I know for a fact that there's NAI schools who will completely run D1, D2, and D3 schools. D1, I feel just the name just because of D1 doesn't mean that your life is over. There's other paths to always. I think even some of the most strongest colleges, I feel like are in the NAI conference.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would totally agree with that.
Personally, that's what I have. That's what I've seen. I've seen even D3 colleges that we play. I've played in the past. They're far more consistent on the ball and such a better football to watch, and they win games as well. For me, D1 hasn't been all impressive. I won't lie.
Yeah, I agree. And I wanted to talk to you as well because you, like we said in the intro, you came over to Spain for a couple of weeks and you were older than a lot of the players. A lot of the players were, in high school. And for you kind of being older, had your experience playing college, looking at other things post college. If you had to go back to when you were 16, 17, getting ready to play college soccer, what advice would you have given yourself?
Oh, what advice would I give myself if I was 16 or 17 going into college? To be honest, this is a trick question because in my situation, I didn't really have any time to prepare, or it was it was almost 2 months and I was flying out to the States. So I didn't get any preparation time, no mentally or not even physically or even academically. I didn't really get prepared. I kind of just got thrown a curveball and kind of just had to pack my bags and fly straight out to the States. But if I were to give advice for people who are getting ready to fly over to the States, is stay busy. Stay busy when you get over to the States. And even before going out to the States, I feel like getting being in a on a certain schedule, waking up early, going to the gym because you're gonna have gym practices early in the morning, making sure that you have a routine going, that you're going to eat the right food, get ready, learn how to cook before you come out to the States if you're not getting a meal plan in America. Um, but just overall learning about the school that you're going to, the campus and the type of environment that you're going to be going into. Is there fraternities? Is there sororities? Like, is there going to be a bunch of parties going on? How do you avoid yourself from that? Because once you get into college, not everybody's there for the same reason you are. Other people go there just to have a good time and drink and stuff. So you just want to make sure, look at the school's records and the whole general of the team's you'd call morals, I would say. The
Yeah,
team's morals. Pay attention to that. Just
that's
find a little detail about teams.
yeah, that's a good question because one of the things that I didn't really research before I came to college was like the coach, where are the players from? Like, are they from the US? Are they from the North? Are they from the South? Are they from
With Victor just there.
who? Who is it?
Victor was just there.
Where,
Victor.
is he left or is he still there?
Mm, he left already.
Okay. Okay, okay. No,
But
I
you
was
just put that
saying,
in.
that that's something that I wish I'd researched more was like the culture, messaging players on the roster, like, hey, how is the coach? Does the coach like anything when I come for preseason? Do I need to be fit or do I need to focus on finishing? Or you as a goalie, does the coach like to kick it longer? Does he like to play? So for you now, what would you say to an incoming freshman how to prepare for specifically for soccer?
How to prepare specifically for soccer, someone coming into college. Um, I know myself when I was in contact with the coach that was the college I was going to, I was always intrigued of the playing style he has for a goalkeeper. Was it, do you want to play out from the back all the time? Do I have to be really good with my feet? Do you need a commanding goalkeeper? What type of role am I trying to fit? And I got the news that they're always playing out from the back, possession style. They don't want the ball kicked long. They want the game slowed down. And for me, I was usually get the ball, kick it long, and hope for the best. But when I found out, that means I was going to practice and I was just working on in practice with the team I was at, just short little passes out from the back and just getting used to what the play style would be around in the States. But again, it's not gonna feel realistic until you get out to the States. And once I got out there, then practicing with the team, you get used to it and yeah,
Yeah,
get used to it.
that's good feedback. So then obviously now you're playing in Spain. You've played with a couple of different teams there, in terms of like the levels and stuff, but you've also practiced with the first team. So this is pretty exciting for Select Generation in terms of having a player training with the first team of Unionistas. That's like, massive. That's what we're here for, right? That's why we bring you to Spain to get that opportunity. You're the only player that's happened to train with a professional team, a third division club in Spain, clubs that plays against. Last year they beat Barcelona. They've played against Real Madrid. They play against La Liga teams.
Yeah.
To train with a team like that compared to college soccer and where you played, how is it different? Like what are they doing to get to that level to be a pro?
Well, first of all, it's every kid's dream to play with a professional team that has played against the first team Barcelona, that beat Villarreal, a pretty good League One team. Um, the difference is professionalism and hunger and just discipline. Going to college, everyone's like, oh, if I make it out, I make it out. If it's meant to be, it'll be. But once you make the switch over to professional football, it's so much more faster pace. Everything is done more consistently. Everybody's there to actually get better, and everybody's really fighting for their position. Um, Something that I really realized is that people take care of themselves a lot more. People go to sleep on time. People take care of the food that they put in their body, the drinks they put on their body. You won't hear athletes go out all the time and drink their life away. These athletes just play football and everything is football for them. Same as for me. But biggest thing that I would say that sets them apart would be overall just consistency. Consistency, I think, is the biggest thing that sets professionalism and college sports apart from each other.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a word that would describe it any better.
Okay. And
Everybody on the team is just consistent.
what are they like? What are their personalities like, in the dressing room? Is it that they're, all competing for each other because they're thinking you're earning more money than me, you're earning more money than me, and it's kind of like a dogfight for, who's getting the starting position? Is it healthy competition? Is it they all just want to win? Like, how would you say the mood in the locker room and their personalities are?
Well, I think in both scenarios, in both college and professional, everybody wants to win. Everybody's fighting for a spot. At training with Unionistas, it's not a dogfight. I wouldn't say it's a dogfight. There is healthy competition. I know between the goalkeepers, there's always that. I'm gonna help you out, and I'm here for you. But at the same time, like I do want to take your spot because I want to be in that spot. But when you compare it to the players, you kind of rotate as a player. You can play as a right back, but you can get moved up as a right wing in case something happens. As a goalkeeper, it's one position and that's it. So there's always going to be it's going to be very competitive all times. And I feel like in professional level, it's football's a lot more relaxed. At the same time, like everybody's having a lot of fun. Everybody's making jokes but everybody knows the second the whistle goes, it's switched on. In college, I realized that even throughout the drills, it kind of jokes around and nobody really takes it seriously.
Yeah. No, that's a good one. And then having that experience, like going to training, what was it like on your first day? Were you nervous? Were you excited? Could you sleep the night before? Like, how was the first day?
I don't think I slept much the night before. I think I did probably get maybe solid 4 hours of sleep because my head was running through so many emotions. As it's a child's dream. It's been my dream just to even be in a pro team, but especially with Unionistas, I was maybe got 4 hours of sleep. I went to practice. Everything is eye opening. I came in and they gave me a freshly clean kit to practice in, and just the professionalism overall. It's hard to describe it because it's speechless. You're basically speechless. And once I got in there, I was nervous. I was a little nervous, but most of it was just excitement. It was just excitement because I'm doing something that most people want to do, and I'm experiencing it firsthand. But just overall, once I got in there and got to practicing, everybody was trying to introduce themselves. Hi, how are you? My name's this, and this. And then once you get into practice, they're actually pretty helpful. For somebody who doesn't speak much Spanish, they were pretty understanding, and they would just use body signals a little more for me. And yeah, it was an experience that's hard to put into words. You kind of have to be there to understand what I was feeling at that moment.
That's amazing, man. I love that. I'm jealous. I always wanted to play pro soccer, but I was never good enough, and I guess I wasn't as dedicated and consistent as you, right? Because you kind of put all your eggs in one basket and you're like, I'm gonna make this happen no matter what. So I commend you for that. And for someone that is playing Division 2, Division 3 NAIA soccer that's currently in college that thinks I want to make it as a pro, what advice do you give that player that's not playing Division 1, that's not getting drafted, that needs to go the extra mile? How can you get to the pros?
Make sure you have good video. When you have games, make sure you have a good highlight video. A highlight video is very important because if you're not getting drafted and coach and you maybe are not on the radar, having a strong video with good quality and sending it out to coaches would help you a lot. Instead of somebody that has a good record but does no has no video, and they start contacting other coaches, they're not going to even really answer. Because that's what I was doing. I was contacting other coaches, and I had no video, and no one would answer. And once you have a good video set, you could put a couple of words down. Hey, my name is this, and this, and I play in this position. This is where I'm at. Please take a look at my video and get back to me. And got so much more responses back because they actually have a visual of you playing.
Nice. And then in terms of like lifestyle, obviously, in college you're going out, you win on a Saturday, you go drink. On a Monday you have a 6 a.m. practice, but you're not used to being in a routine and it's tough to get up. You go to the gym at 6, go home at 7, and you go back to sleep before classes. For someone that's in college and that wants to be a pro, how do you have to create a lifestyle that is like a pro?
Routine, routine, and sacrifices. Routine and sacrifices would be huge. I know when I was in my college era, I would not go out. All my friends would go out and drink, and they wouldn't have parties the next day, but I would have practice 6 a.m. practice the next morning, and it was just installing the discipline that this is the routine that you're going to have right now is going to be the exact same in the professional. You're going to wake up early, you're going to go train, and after that it's going to be just your school or work, or depending what level you're at. um I know that if you have your routine as in 6 a.m. practice and everything is detailed, once you get into the professional world, then you know that it's still going to be the same thing. There's going to be sacrifices. You're not gonna have to reorganize your whole life. You'll all kind of be set in already before going into that world. Because if you're not, everything is set in place and you're not making life easy for yourself, your life is going to be very hectic. And especially in the professional world, then you got pressure of being dropped from the team, and then you have your own life. You're dependent. While in college, you can mess up on the team, but it's not going to affect anything else for you.
Yeah, I feel you. That's great advice, David. Awesome, man. Appreciate your time on the podcast. I'll stop the
Of
recording
course.
now. But yeah, no, very proud of you, what you're doing, and it's awesome to hear about your experience and stuff.
Yeah,
A
I
little,
mean,
yeah,
most of my life experience of playing football has been the behind the scenes of going like doing the workouts by yourself, doing practices by yourself, and then the sacrifice it takes over the summer, over throughout the year. Like for me, I was before coming here, I was homeless for 2 months. I lived in the back of my van in the States for the first two. It was start of May for 2 months. I was homeless and I was able to get a job and kind of start a career. And that's why it took so long for me to get over here. And then once I got out here, it was just pray that all your hard work that you did finally rolled off. And luckily for me, through all the dirt that I went through, I was able to perform well enough to get scouted and get brought back here. So even at your lowest moments, it could be a week away from life-changing events.
yeah, that's that's really awesome, David. No, I'm very proud of you, and glad that obviously you were able to do well. And I think you should be proud of yourself. Obviously, that's an amazing achievement. Training with them, I can't even imagine, like how intense it is. And like you said, I think it's a lot of people see the end destination and they think, oh, yeah, but David, he's already played college soccer, he's in a good position. He has a European passport, so it's easy for him to get over there. He works hard, he's loud, but they don't really see you were sleeping in the back of your car, or they don't see that, you weren't going out drinking, you were in the gym at 6 a.m., or you were going out and doing
Yeah,
this. You got to love the process and not the journey. Well, the
love the
progress,
grind.
the journey,
Gotta
and
love. Yeah.
yeah. So David, I'll stop the recording there, but appreciate your time, mate. Great story, and
Right.
we'll see you soon.
Right. Perfect. Thank you very much.